So it's got you. So thank you for coming to the meeting today. It's really important that we discover the issue of conflict management. Who here has needed to deal with conflict in the past month within the workforce? And could you provide an example of how you've dealt with conflict?
We had 2 members of staff who both have to answer the phones for incoming calls, and one member of staff was repeatedly taking personal calls and going away from the phones, and the other member of staff was feeling like the first member of staff was not doing her job and everything was falling on her. So that was the conflict, was trying to sort out the issue between them without antagonising anyone and without rocking the boat, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
The resolution in this case was quite simple. Reminded the person who was taking lots of personal calls that it was not appropriate to take personal calls outside of your lunch breaks or tea breaks unless they were emergencies. And without saying who had reported it, which is quite easy because she's at a reception, so anyone can see her doing that. And basically had to just have a little bit of a talk with both members of staff, reminding the second one that had made the complaint that it's probably better to actually just speak to her fellow staff member and just say, hey, do you mind not taking the personal calls? Can you answer the phones, or something along those lines, or to try that avenue before it gets to the point where you get quite angry and aggravated.
Okay.
As well.
And she stopped taking those calls after she was after the issue was discussed.
She has significantly reduced taking those calls.
Well, that's a step in the right direction.
Yes. Unfortunately, she has a family that brings her a lot, even when she's at work. So, so yeah, it's a step in the right direction. So we're getting there.
Oh, that's good.
The most common conflict at work is the communication between staff. In terms that when they are under pressure, they seem to impose themselves verbally, and some people react to that in a negative way.
And how have you dealt with that? Have there been any major complaints, or have you had to mediate between staff member and other members?
I don't mediate between them. I said that I just suggest them to keep the communication to a professional level, but I don't interfere with them directly.
Okay. So conflict is an issue that arises in the workplace often. It is something which every business aims to minimize because nothing positive comes from conflict within the business. It's a negative aspect which businesses try to discourage. So there are steps to conflict management. Obviously, the example you chose was a fairly informal approach.
Yes.
Yes. Before we discuss the steps, we might first brainstorm what you think are the first steps to dealing with conflict. So there are 6 steps. Do you have any idea what would be the first or the second?
I would assume or hope that one of the first steps would be actually working out what the conflict is.
Yes.
Who is involved.
Yep.
And if it's a breach of your company guidelines,
Yeah.
or if it's a personality clash. Breach of company guidelines would be dealt with differently, I would imagine, to something that's more of a personality clash in most workplaces. Yeah, that would be what I would think.
That's a very good you're definitely on the right track.
Excellent.
But I'll go through the
Okay,
6 points to see the exact steps for dealing with conflict in
Okay.
management. So 1 is first, discover or investigate the issue, which is who, what, when, where, why.
Yes.
So you got that one right. Number 2 is talk about the issue with the parties involved.
Yeah.
Number 3, openly discuss how to overcome the issue,
Yeah.
i.e. what needs to be done to resolve the issue. Number 4, make an agreement. So make parties involved agree to a resolution.
I'm remembering all of this as you're saying them.
That's great, aids in learning.
Yes.
And step 5, finalize agreement. Agree with a handshake or a written document.
Yeah.
And step 6, the issue has been resolved. So those are the exact 6 steps in dealing with conflict. Conflict involves the following styles of resolution. They can be accommodating, which is give the opposite side what it wants. Avoiding, avoid the conflict to make it go away. Collaboration, collecting a range of ideas from various people to find a resolution. Competing, where one side wins and the other side loses. So those are the styles of resolutions that can be that can lead to resolution when dealing with conflict. Now let's talk about negotiation.
Yep.
When dealing with negotiation, it's important to share information, so openly discuss the ins and outs. Rank the order of priorities. Put in order what needs to be done, 1 to 5. Put in a target price to make the issue walk away. That is a very simple and easy manner to deal with negotiation. However, there's a more formal method. So there are a few more steps with the formal method, and they are 1, preparation, 2, discussion, 3, clarification of goals, 4, negotiate towards a win-win outcome, 5, agreement, and 6, implementation of course of action. This is a more lengthy version of negotiation, but it is more accurate, leads to more accurate results. During negotiation, an advocate may be used to speak on another person's behalf. This may include an ombudsman. After a resolution or agreement is reached, the final decision should be recorded in writing and signed by all relevant parties. The signing of the agreement is an indication that the parties agree with the decision and will comply with it. And that is a rundown on conflict and negotiation. Any questions?
No, I might just write some notes actually, because it reminds me of a bunch of things that I don't do.
That's okay, I'm a step ahead. You don't need to write any notes. I can give you your own notes.
Fabulous.
An overview of what we've just taught today. Okay, so that's the end of the meeting.
Okay.
And you'll definitely be getting your own notes. And then I'll leave you with that information, and you can review the notes and anytime you wish.
Excellent.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.